and she said, "You got bald spots." I was like, "What?" Bald spots? But of course, like, how can you have like thin spots, thin patches on your hair that bust and expect that there's gonna be hair there? Like, as a hairstylist, I hear almost on a daily basis, especially with new clients, that they only wash their hair once a month. So you telling me out of the 365 days, you've only washed your hair 12 times? Now you sweat every single day. You work hard every single day. If you live in New York City, you get the pollution every single day in your hair. So out of 365 days, you only washed your hair 12 times? If you're looking for beautiful, healthy, manageable, growing curls, it's so important to wash your hair on a regular basis. If you don't, you can run into a ton of issues that will set your hair back and not only stop your hair from growing, but in extreme cases, it may fall out. And I'm not being dramatic because I have my own experience. So if you're interested to find out how bad can it really get if you don't wash your hair regularly, keep watching to find out. But before we dive into the video, if you've been struggling with your curly hair and you have no idea where to start, and you just need a little bit of help to build out that hair regimen that you can be consistent with so that you can grow out your long curly hair, then don't forget to go into my description. It's the first link, and grab your free Curly Girl Planner. I created it so I can help you understand how to create the proper regimen so that you can grow out your curly hair. It also provides you with the tools and the products that you need and exact regimen that you need to stay consistent to get the results. So don't forget to go grab the Curly Girl Planner. It's free. Don't wait on it. All right, so when I grew up, my mom and I had very different hair textures. I literally used to call her Pocahontas because Pocahontas when her hair is just like blowing in the wind, just like effortlessly. That was my mom's hair. She really didn't have a real curl pattern. It never really curled, but it was very fine. It felt like cotton basically. She never knew what to really do with her hair. So she literally just did a low bun every single day. She put some water and some Vaseline. Yes, Vaseline, y'all. She would get some Vaseline and sleek her hair down and then put in a low bun every single day. But with me, my hair is more like 4A. It's a coil for sure. And it is fine, which makes it really hard to actually style. And my mother, rest her soul, she did not know how to braid to save her life. So when you have me, she would just like stress out about my hair. She would get more mad about my hair than I would. Like, it just really freaked her out. So she got tired of paying for people to do my hair. And we know how that goes. And she didn't want to do my hair. So eventually she was like, you know what? At 9 years old, I was 9 years old when she said this. You need to start taking care of your own hair, she said. You need to start doing your own hair. I quit. My mother quit doing my hair. Like, when I tell you she was over it, she was hands off, right? I was 9 years old. I was in the 4th grade with natural hair. And I'm just like, okay. And it's so funny because my aunt was like, just perm her hair. You know what I mean? And my mom was like, no. So I was stressed. And as a nine-year-old, like, who wants to worry about washing their hair? Who at 9 years old, you barely want to shower. Let's be real, right? But it is what it is. And at 9 years old, I had to start taking care of my hair. And what did any 9-year-old do but avoid water at that time? So I rarely washed my hair. And I remember it was like a month in when my mother like left me out on my own. And a month in, I didn't wash it. What I did was I had twists at the time. I had twists with little rub bands and then like the individual twists. And I would just rock that. I would just like, if it was starting to look dry and crunchy, I would like retwist it myself, but I did not wash my hair, y'all. So a month goes by. And after a month, you feel the itchiness, you feel the dryness, and when you're a kid, you're running around wreaking havoc. So I was sweating a lot too. And you can feel like a film that builds up on your scalp after a while. Y'all all know what I'm talking about. But did I wash it out? No. Just kept it pushing. And then I'm like breaking up about it. And then the second month goes by, and it gets to a point, not to sound weird, this is gonna sound graphic, but it gets to a point where like it's so itchy and then it just stops. You ignore it enough that the itchiness just goes away, right? That's when the problems start to occur. I started to notice that like my scalp started to feel really sore. Like I really couldn't tell you why it was feeling so sore. It started to feel thin even, you know? So I started to have like huge flakes, huge flakes. Like like the Breakfast Club when she like scratches her scalp and like you see a ton of like large flakes fall. That was me. Like I had really bad like dry scalp growing up, but after that second month, it was out of control, and then my scalp started getting real tender, real thin. Thin. It's a weird way to explain it, but that's what it was. I ignored it, kept it pushing because I did not feel like washing my hair. It is what it is. And then I don't want to say it was a full 3 months, but maybe like 10 weeks, right? 10 weeks in of not washing my hair. Then those thin, like spots, it was like little random spots in my hair. I would poke at it because it was so thin, it felt like jelly, like almost, right? And then I would like play with it because when you have like scab or something, you pick at it. So I would like pick and like rub on it, and it just at one point it just started to burst. It felt like plasma almost, you know what I mean? Like thin plasma just like leaking out onto my scalp. Oh my god, you guys, it was so bad. I've never experienced this before. Once I finally was like, okay, this is bad. I told my mom, I was like, this is bad. I need to wash my hair. And sure enough, y'all, after I washed my hair and like finally detangled it and cleaned it, I went to go get my hair braided from my babysitter at the time because she would braid my hair every so often. And she said, "You got bald spots." I was like, "What?" Bald spots. But of course, like, how can you have like thin spots, thin patches on your hair that bust and expect that there's going to be hair there? Like, I had bald spots. And that's because I did not wash my hair. And it really like that was like the start of my natural hair journey, y'all, was me not washing my hair to the point that I got bald spots. So eventually my hair grew back. Don't worry. But that was literally the kicker. And I realized early on that, like, okay, you can only go but so long without washing your hair. So that's just my personal story. And let's break down why all that happened. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, if you don't wash your hair, you run the potential of clogging your hair follicles. That is because curly hair is actually drier than most hair textures because the natural oils that we produce at the scalp don't have the ease of running down the hair strand like straighter textures. Because of all those whirls and bends, it's hard for the oil to get through the length of the hair. So that means that if you don't wash your hair, that oil that our scalp produces will accumulate on top of our scalp and it has nowhere to go. So that runs the issue of clogged hair follicles. If left untreated, it will lead to your scalp especially feeling greasy, and it will weigh down your hair if you do try to style it, and it will actually prevent hair growth because those follicles have no clear path to grow hair out of. So if you are experiencing this buildup of oil and product buildup even on your scalp, you want to make sure that you go in with a clarifying shampoo to detox and thoroughly cleanse your scalp. And now clear off any of that sweat, grime, debris, pollution, and really get in there and break it all up so you have a good reset. This is especially important if you are just taking down a protective style like braids or sew-in because that hair has been tied up for a while and it's just been accumulating product buildup and sweat and all that. So you want to go in with that first wash, let it be a clarifying shampoo to detox and really get in there. And then next, if you don't wash your hair, you'll notice that those clogged follicles from all the debris and sweat and grime you have on your scalp will actually lead to a dry and itchy scalp. That's because it will block moisture from getting into your scalp, and dryness, as we know with our skin, once it gets dry, it's so itchy. So that's where all the flakes and the dandruff comes from, is because you have a buildup on your scalp. So it's so important to one, go in with that clarifying shampoo to really break up the buildup, and then two, follow up with a moisturizing shampoo that once all that nasty film is off, it'll put back in the moisture so it can alleviate and soothe your scalp and stop the itchiness. Now, if you don't wash your curly hair, while your scalp will become oily and build up, your ends of your hair, the length of your hair actually becomes severely dry. That's because you're not putting any moisture back into your hair. And when you don't moisturize curly hair, it starts to become very dry, very brittle. And when your hair is brittle, it's easy to break off. I like to tell people, if I might age myself with this, but if you ever watch SpongeBob SquarePants and you know when him and Patrick went to Sandy's house and there was no water there, what did SpongeBob do? He dried right up. And you remember that little scene where he had his pinky? He was trying to be fancy, he had his pinky, and it was all shriveled and dried up, and then it broke right off. That's your hair strands. When you don't wash it, you don't moisturize it. So you want to be sure that after you go in with your shampoo and you thoroughly cleanse your hair, you want to put moisture in that will deeply penetrate your hair. That's why I always say go in with a deep conditioner at least once a week, because it's going to thoroughly moisturize your hair, penetrate that moisture in, so that your hair will stay hydrated for longer, so you don't have to feel like your hair is constantly drying out no matter what you do. A deep conditioner will make a huge difference, not only on your hair, but also on moisturizing your scalp too. All right, another issue that can happen if you don't wash your curly hair regularly is you can experience a lot of breakouts. Now, hands up, has anyone ever had bangs? I lived in my bangs for like a few years, like over 5 years, I had bangs. And the thing about bangs is that if you have a ton of products and sweat and all that on your bangs, you'll notice a lot of acne around your forehead. And that's what happens when you have a lot of gross debris and product buildup just hanging out on your skin. And we need to remember that, like, our skin is affected by our hair. So we need to be sure that if you experience a lot of breakouts in general, that you are thoroughly cleansing your hair. Because if you have dirty hair falling on your skin, it is really going to affect your skin. And it's probably one of the reasons why you may see a lot of breakouts around the frame of your face. So if you have sensitive, acne prone skin, you especially want to be sure to wash your hair at least once a week. So this will not only clean your hair and your scalp, but you know that it won't be buildup that's causing the breakouts. It may really actually help solve some of the issues if you have been experiencing a lot of breakouts. Okay, and last but not least, but certainly the most obvious, is that if you don't wash your curly hair, you'll start to notice a lot of odor. Now, we ignore it, but you are the first one to notice when your hair smells, always. And then I would just assume that if I can smell it, somebody else can too. So if you definitely notice an odor, you want to wash your hair. And you want to think about it like this: our hair naturally absorbs a lot of smells. It really just attracts smells to it and it holds on to it. And think of the heat from your scalp, right? Because our heads actually produce a lot of heat. That heat warms up the sense of all the nasty that's on your scalp and on your hair, and it pushes it out. Think of like an oil diffuser. Think of it, any diffuser. When you got the heat to it, it pushes that scent out. So you want to be sure that you're smelling good all the time, and you don't want to cover it up with just some fragrant product, because that's just adding fuel to the fire, really, and you are just not giving your hair a chance. So you want to make sure that to prevent odor, wash your hair at least once a week. I keep saying this, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Wash your hair at least once a week and deep condition once a week as well. All right, y'all. I hope y'all found this video helpful. Once again, don't miss out on my free Curly Girl Planner, first link in the description. And let me know if you ever experience anything like I have with the bald spots and not washing your hair, and what happened to you. Like, let this be a conversation, because I know we all have our hair stories. So let's just all share them and support each other, okay? And until then, catch you on the next. Bye.